Just like that.
Brother Jeff.
You know they about to check in, bro.
I already know.
You know they.
As they should.
They've been hitting me up. I said Chauncey will be here, and
yes, indeed.
so you're gonna start seeing. We're gonna see who's checking in because they will be coming in to see who's here and what we're up to.
Yeah.
See, they are with Francois. Francois is the man. He's been putting it down a long time.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
I remember when he used to promote little shows up in Boulder.
Oh man, boy, we had some good times, man. He has been a source of a lot of great entertainment, man. Still doing it.
Trailblazer, you know.
Yeah.
Francois, right on, bro. Keep on doing it.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's been a act that has come to town that he hadn't had his hand in or helped another group get on stage to get that kind of recognition.
Nah, Francois is the man. He's the man.
So yeah, go ahead and set this my clock. We're going 30 minutes with Mr. Big Shot. Man.
Yeah.
Chauncey Billups, you know, look at here. Celtics, Nuggets, Raptors, Timberwolves, Pistons, New York Knicks, Clippers. One of the best that has played the game.
I appreciate it. Did you say Detroit or did you forget Detroit?
Pistons.
Come on, you can't forget Detroit.
I said Pistons. That's Detroit.
Oh, okay. I ain't hear you, man. I ain't hear you. You gotta speak a little louder, man.
I'm going to speak louder when you. Man, we got a lot to cover. Today's show, Winning, Welton, and Mr. Big Shot. 30 minutes with Chauncey Billups. Chauncey, I need you to start by reading the trigger alert. Let them know about the
trigger alert. This is a show that triggers people because you have entered a free think zone. If you're not willing to be exposed to other points of views, tune out now and don't read the comments. You have been warned.
Been warned.
Brother Jeff.
Been warned.
That's how you get it. Let's go.
All right, so I'm going to post this here, and then I'm going to pin that there, and I'm going to pin that there. You know, Chauncey, I want to touch on a couple of things, but I'm gonna hit you with a winning play. We're going to start with a winning play, okay?
All right.
The winning play is we're going to start off by sending a shout out to our wives.
I like it.
Ain't that cool?
I like it.
It's a winning play.
My wife, everybody knows how I feel about my wife. Was once my girlfriend. We've been together since high school. Met at George Washington, been together since George Washington. 3 beautiful girls. We partners in business, partners in everything, life. So that's
Same
my heart. That's
with
my
me.
ace.
My wife, Maletti, we've been having a great time. We travel all over. We spend a lot of time in Africa. She's a super businesswoman and just an extraordinary part of my life. That's a winning play, isn't it?
That's definitely a winning play for sure.
Man. Now you hit the trigger alert, so what I want to do is first tell you, I got to run a couple things by you. I got to run a test on you. You ready? All right, here we go. Hiawatha, Davis Center, or Skyland?
Skyland.
All right.
All due respect, but Skyland.
That's why we started with that trigger alert.
All due respect, but Skyland.
Okay. All right. Martin Luther King Boulevard or 32nd?
32nd.
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 Oh, man. GW or East?
Oh, come on. Easy money. Patriots, dog.
GW or
come on, man.
Or Montbello?
GW versus everybody.
GW or Manual?
Come on, man. George, man. All day.
Man, you hit it 100. That's a big shot you just.
I know.
That's how you do it.
That's how it is.
Hey, man. Let's go back and pay some homage back to the area known as Skyland. Mr. Kearney, Tony Wells, Billy King, Mr. Cummings, Daddy-O.
My heroes, all of them. Harry Hollins, all my heroes. Rick Callahan, who coached me, only white dude in the whole neighborhood that came to give back. All them dudes is my heroes, man.
Man, So when you think about your involvement in basketball, how did you get involved? I mean, how did that journey begin?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I first started playing football for the Pirates. That's my first love. Still, like, I would rather watch a football game than a basketball game. That's how much I love football.
And after I done my best.
Yeah. This so funny. Me and Norm was saying that last night. Yeah. But I only started playing my dad used to take me around. My dad played ball, was a good player, the rec leagues and all that. So he used to take me around, but really the only reason why I started playing basketball, Jeff, was because I needed something to do when football season wasn't in. And inner city, you know how it is, idle time is never a good time because things happen.
Right.
So I started playing basketball and fell in love with it. And then, like, I think sixth or seventh grade is when I stopped and I just chose one sport because all I wanted to do was get a scholarship. I wanted to go to college, and I knew my parents couldn't afford to send me, so I needed to focus on one sport. So I chose basketball.
Man, that sounds like Coach Narcy. We were just talking to Coach Narcy. He got one of the young scholars with him, using sports as a way to get into college and move beyond.
Yeah.
I got a piece of trivia that I learned along the way about the Pirates, because we all came through the Pirates. So I don't even have to say Pirates or Prince Hall
or Falcons
or
any of them. Nah, you don't even have to.
Okay, that's not a question.
You can waste your time. You're gonna waste your time with that.
Okay, listen. Here's what I met one of the founders of the Pirates. He's deceased now, rest in peace. But I didn't know that they were coming out of Vietnam and he was a Marine. Kind of gives you a viewpoint on our military kind of swag bearing.
Yeah.
And after I done my best,
Right.
It's military,
Yeah, it's very military.
There's a feel about Park Hill, and they call this the East Side, but back in the day it was all one.
Yeah.
It was all one. I still see us all as one.
I was just about to say it's still that way to this day.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. So you started playing basketball. When did you know that you were very good and even great?
So probably my 8th grade year, I played on a little traveling team from around here, and we went to play in this tournament in Phoenix, and we played against this team from New York called New York Riverside Church, and they had a guy on the team who was supposed to be at the time the best player in the country at our age group. His name was Stephon Marbury, and we played them in the semifinals, lost in overtime. But, like, me and him went head-to-head the entire game. Like, I think I had, like, 42, and he had, like, 39. Like, neither one of us could guard each other, But that was validation for me to say, if this dude is supposed to be the best in the country, I'm pretty good, too, then.
Man, and then who nurtured it? Because I think everybody who moves into greatness, there's somebody who kind of identifies it and says, hold on a second, you got something special, and I need you to focus, or I need you to do this or that. Who was that in your life?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, my pop. My dad was the guy that, I was lucky, coming and being in the hood and coming up. I was lucky to have 2 parents in my house. So no matter how their relationship was or what was going on, they always supported, us, the kids. So I was very fortunate with that. So my father, first and foremost, nurtured all of that. But I was raised in the rec center too, in Skyland, and guys that you mentioned, Harry and Kearney and Rick Callahan and even Mr. Houston, Coach Johnson, all of those guys. There was nowhere for me to go but straight, right?
Right.
They seen something in me at a young age and said, "We're not gonna let you waste that." And they were tough on me, They were tough on me. And I didn't appreciate it every day because you're young and you don't know what to appreciate. But I thank those dudes all the time. And like I said, them dudes are my heroes. And there are a lot of reasons why I've been able to do what I've done.
You know, I think about, it sounds like you're talking about community. You grew up in community.
Absolutely.
Because it wasn't even just the talented players.
Yeah.
Because everybody had to participate in some way or shape or form. So you went from football to baseball to track to, you know, and all of those different things. And if you didn't show up, somebody would be knocking on your door.
That's right.
Talking about
That's right.
where were you today?
Yeah.
That level of accountability. You know, I think that's missing a lot today.
Big time. Big time. You know, just like you said, that level of accountability. But it just wasn't accountability. It was just because they cared.
Yeah.
You know, and if you didn't show after showing every day, it's like, we're going to make sure he's all right. You know, we all going by the house. That is a void that is in the neighborhoods now. Obviously, you know, the neighborhoods are different now and people don't live as close. And, you know, those are different issues that we are dealing with. But that void is there, and you see it in the generation, you know, that we have here. Even some of the millennials, you see it there. And it's a sad thing, but, you know, all you can do is just try to help and be there for them.
What I like about it is that there are individuals such as yourself and others that know and continue to pass that tradition on of caring. I didn't know a lot of those individuals in our community were volunteers.
Yeah.
I thought that was their job.
Yeah, you thought it was a job, yeah.
I didn't know they went to work and then got off work and they spent all that time. So, you know, shout out.
And was there raising us.
Yeah, shout out to every coach out there, every
Absolutely.
mentor, every person who just, you know, grabs somebody and just points them in a different direction or just sees something special in them.
Yeah.
You know,
no doubt.
That's so deep. I got to tell you, you're a little younger than me because you actually went to George with my niece, Erica Efferson.
That's right. I sure did, man.
You know, and Patrick, my nephew,
I seen him his brother last night.
At the spot last night. Those are my sister's children.
Wow, man. Yeah.
You know, and so
Erica and I think we graduated together.
You
we was together the whole time.
You did.
Yep. She used to be at Skyland with us, all of us. You know how it was.
Yeah. So, you know, this is like you know, we're all like one big family. You know, okay, I want to ask you about when you became a part of the was it the McDonald's All-American team?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But you couldn't play because you were injured?
Yeah.
Did you say to yourself then, why me? Did you get real down? Or did you say to myself, I'm gonna be one of the greatest ever played? Is this just a setback?
Well, I said both, to be honest with you, because my entire high school career, that was my goal. I wanted to try to win a championship every single year. Obviously, we didn't, but we lost my first year in the Final Four, and then we won sophomore, junior, and then I dislocated my shoulder in the playoffs against Montbello, or we would have won it that year, I believe. But man, that was my goal, you know, to be in the McDonald's All-American game. You know, those are the best players in the country, you know. So it was a downer. It sucked for me to miss that game, even though I got to be there and all of that. I wanted to like show my skills against the best on TV in front of everybody. So that sucked, but it also gave me validation that I was one of the better players in the country and that I'll see these dudes again. I'll be able to compete against them again.
You were thinking like that as a young person?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
So what would you say to young people that are going through some difficulties, some challenges, but, you know, have some potential or may have a bigger goal, but they're going through some stuff?
I know one thing I always did is I always had huge goals, but I always set small markers in between just to make sure I was on pace, right? I'll make sure I was on pace. No matter what it was, whether it was in a game, whether it was in a semester, whether it was in school, whatever it was, I always set small goals, knowing that there's a big deal at the end of this. And if I stay on pace, good, because if not, and you just have that big goal, you never know where you're at in the process. You know what I'm saying? You can lose focus, you can get depressed, you get injured, it's a little setback. You still, you know, you just worried about one big goal. You don't have those small little goals there. So that's just kind of the way I still live my life.
It's not over.
It's going. Oh,
You got more
never,
to do.
Never.
We're going to talk about that in
Never.
just a second, because
Never.
I don't know if people were at the Blair Caldwell last night, but we're going to dive into something big that you're doing.
Yes, indeed.
You know, you got something
Yeah.
big that we're going to talk about. I want to ask, now you get drafted or whatever, and you find yourself playing against probably people you looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the court with them.
Crazy. My very first game was against Michael Jordan and the Bulls. First game. So you gotta think, right? 6 months prior to that, I'm in the dorm room at CU with Jordan posters and all kind of, all my favorite players are in my room. Fast forward, I'm playing against this dude, my first game,
Wow.
That was crazy. I was in awe. That was very surreal for me to be able to do that. And then I didn't have time to really, you play in the game, and then the next night I fly to Orlando, play against Penny. So it was crazy. It was really wild, man. I'm 21 years old, so it was wild, man. It was wild.
So then now everybody in the NBA got skills.
Sure.
You just don't get there.
Sure.
When did you start, or who mentored you where you started saying, hold up, I'm even very good against some of the best?
Well, it didn't happen early. I mean, I had a decent rookie year, but I was traded. I was on 5 teams in my first 5 years. And it wasn't, most people would be like, oh, the coach was hating or this or that or make excuses. It was none of that. And I worked hard, but I just wasn't ready, First time ever I played against dudes the same size, bigger, stronger, better, smarter, more skilled than I was. So I had to kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit, and not only learn how to study me and what I needed, but my opponents. And there were a couple veterans on my stop in Minnesota that were vital for me. One was Terrell Brandon, one was Sam Mitchell, that just kind of taught me the game, just taught me all of that, took extra time with me, to the gym with me, got there early, stayed late, we watched film. I mean, just taught me the game. And it really changed the trajectory of my career, it really did, because my next stop was Detroit, and the rest was history.
Now that's where the Mr. Big Shot came in.
Yeah. Yes,
did you
indeed.
just feel it, or you just, what?
I just was finally ready, right? I was finally ready. I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of teams. I've seen a lot of different coaches. And I was just ready then, to run the show and to have the ball in my hands. And not only me, I was around a lot of guys that were in similar situations, have been kind of thrown away in different situations, tough-minded guys, blue-collar working guys, such as myself. So it was just a perfect marriage, to be honest with you. But me personally, I was just ready. I was just ready, and there was no turning back for me.
You and I spend time with Big John Platt, another safe to say legend.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Out of Montbello.
Yep.
And I often ask Big John in terms of what does he see in terms of success? You know what I mean? What marks the distinction between somebody who's good, but then somebody who's great?
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with greatness and you see that, what is it that, what mark do you see?
To me, when you're talking about that, talent is always a given. When you're talking about greatness, it's a certain level of drive and passion behind whatever that craft might be. How much work you put in. Most people, when the games are fun, but everybody wants to be great until it's time to do what's required of them to be great. Put in the extra hours, sacrificing, missing all kind of important things that maybe other people deem important, but they're not on the path that you want to be on. So you got to sacrifice a lot of that stuff. I tell people all the time in college, I didn't enjoy the college life because when we wasn't playing at 11:30 every single night, I'm in the gym while everybody going out, hanging out, drinking, girls, all that. I'm in the gym 11:30 every single night, working on my craft, like trying to get better. And those type of sacrifices, you know, to me, are what make you great. You know, and a lot of people could be good. A lot of people could be good, and there's a lot of people that are great too. But it's a level of commitment, I think, that separates the two.
Spending time with Mr. Big Shot, Mr. Park Hill, smooth.
Yeah.
30 minutes, y'all. Notice I set that clock, huh? Listen, you know, I want to talk about the business side of business.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember having a conversation with you many years ago or some time ago, and you know, you and John and some others were mentioning the fact that you didn't have a background of someone who could teach you how to navigate your way through a big contract, you know, or handle your business affairs, and you had to learn some things along the way. What advice would you give someone who's entering into a big business relationship, and how do you deal with the contracting of the business side of the game?
Yeah, it's a tricky balance, Jeff, because you know you obviously have to hire an attorney. I'm not a guy that trusts very easy, so even when an attorney's going through all of these contracts and stuff like that, you know, it has a thing called lawyer talk, and I'm saying, no, I'm not a lawyer. Don't speak to me like that. Like, break it down so I can understand, because it could be an oversight, and that could cost you, and it could compromise you in a situation. So I'm a guy that, yeah, you have to hire that. You have to. It's a proper protocol to do so, but teach me along the way. Don't just tell me, all right, sign this because this is what this paper says. Nah, I'm gonna read this and then I'm gonna ask you questions. So early on, it's gonna take a long time. You spend a lot of time with those people, man, because one, you're trying to foster a relationship, and you're trying to earn the trust, or he's trying to earn my trust. But you have to dive in and involve yourself to learn it. You know, if not, people just gonna always take advantage of you.
And a lot of people with great with great talent get taken advantage of.
Oh man, it's
I mean,
sad.
they have a big party,
Yeah.
but at the end of the party, they go back to the hood without anything, and other folks have lived a great life off of their hard work, sweat, and determination. So, any advice you have for those who have it and then just lose it?
Man, I've seen so many stories, so many friends of mine, so many people I played against, with, that made a lot more money than me, you know, that end up losing it all. And just a sad story, you know, depression kicks in, all kind of things kick in. But my advice is always to just, you know, while living in the moment, like, be present though. Be present, you know. Like, understand what's going on and understand, like, we live a life. I was lucky, man. I played 17 years pro, but you figure I come in at 20, leave at 37. I'm 37. Like, I go from being an old man in basketball to like a young dude in the world. And at 37, I'm hoping to live 50 years. So you gotta, whatever money you've made, you gotta make that stretch for 50 more years, and you got kids, and you got a wife, and you got, you know, so that money really ain't as big as you think it is. And, you know, you got a lot of people depending on you, and, you know, it's a lot of things, but if you're present, then you start to understand and see those kind of things, and you plan accordingly, which is hard to do though.
How do you manage a community's expectation or a hood's expectation, or, you know, folks who knew you before, and now they look at you and say, but why ain't you, and you ain't, you know, how do you manage those expectations and others' disappointment about your success and how it's supposed to transfer on to perhaps others?
Yeah. That's always, it was tough for me early, Jeff, you know, because I'm a neighborhood dude. Like, I'm a hood dude, and I love my city, and I love the neighborhood, and I love everything that comes with it. And that was a tough thing to manage early on because I cared about what people thought. But once I got to a point where I knew I was doing what's right, and I knew I haven't done anybody wrong, I've been fair to everybody, that it was just gonna be like that, and you can't please everybody, and you also can't help everybody. And once I was comfortable with that, it was easy.
Man. Well, I tell you what, we got to take a quick pause because it looks like this says that we got to resume the broadcast. I don't know. We'll resume the We'll just hit resume.
There it is. There it is. That was easy.
You know, we just hit resume and see what happens. So I want to get into what's happening on Welton Street.
Yeah.
I want to get into the Welton Street conversation, but I want to close the kind of your development part up with this. What do you do, or have you found yourself a part of a team that had been happy to get there, but really didn't expect to win, or may have needed a push, you know what I mean, a hard push, like we didn't come this far to have anybody sit down. Have you ever had to do that with the risk of hurting somebody's feelings?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, when you're a leader, you know, and you take on that role, and you know, you have to have those tough conversations. You have to do things that are going to be unpopular. You're going to take some criticism sometimes, be it warranted or not. But those are the things that come with being a leader, you know. And you got to also understand that a lot of people don't have that quality in them, you know. And because they don't, they will be critical of you for having it, you know. And it just is. It is what it is. It's just a part of it, Jeff. You know. And I'm used to it at this point.
All right, you all, with Mr. Big Shot, Mr. Parkhill, smooth.
Yeah.
You know, this program is powered by the people. Is today your day where you make a contribution to BrotherJeff.com? Just go to BrotherJeff.com, hit donate, and make a donation of any amount. It doesn't even matter how much. You know, we're going to raise $1 million, and you know what? We do it $1 at a time. That's how we do it.
That's what's up.
You know?
That's what you do.
And so every day we get 7 donations. That's how we do what we do. And so go to BrotherJeff.com, make a donation. Don't forget Black Dollar Saturdays at Brother Jeff's this Saturday. Free vending space for business folks. Just bring a table, set up. It's free. The Lighthouse group is going to be there this Saturday. Make sure you see them. And we're also going to have a double Dutch competition. They double Dutch on Saturdays,
double
bro.
Dutch. Nice. I
This
like
is the
that.
double Dutch weekend.
I like that.
And they get it.
Oh, yeah.
They get it. Man, okay,
Sure.
so now I want to talk about 5 points. I want to talk about smooth coming home, doing more of what you've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
But you see a lot of changes that have taken place in the city as you come back. Do you notice any changes?
Oh, my goodness. I don't barely notice my city no more when I come back, man. It's crazy, but, I mean, here's how I feel, though, Jeff. Like, we all kind of, at some point, got to embrace change. And my whole thing with the gentrification has been, okay, I get it. I understand, because I'm everywhere, right? I'm in Detroit, I'm in New York, I'm in LA, and they doing it in every inner city. So I get it. So I know it was coming. My thing has been the entire time is, yeah, this is great property. I know y'all buying it up, but don't try to buy it up and just push us out. Like, partner with us, you know, be partners with us. And if you're not, it's, you know, it could get different. But if you are, it could work, and it could be a beautiful thing. And I finally found somebody that was willing to partner with us.
Well, I tell you what, another part of the gentrification that baffles me is our role in it. You know, sometimes we as black folks, we act like we don't know no black realtors.
Yeah.
We don't know anybody who would buy our property that has our same kind of values.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of disappointing. You know, when Norman has a good point. Norman said nobody cared about 5 points till they saw her with somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's so true. It's so true, you know. And to your point, like, we can't sit back and act like, you know, our grandparents and stuff bought these houses in the neighborhood, and then their kids ended up, when they pass away, they sell them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are the things that unlocked the opportunity for those people to buy them. And, you know, it unlocked gentrification, you know. So we do. I'm with you. We got to take our own ownership in it. But at the same time, no matter what, we still want to be involved.
And then there's a second part of it. There are enough of us that have wealth or some extra money or some resources that they can invest also.
Correct.
You
Correct.
know?
Absolutely.
And so I was feeling some kind of way about the gentrification that was happening, you know, particularly in 5 Points, but anywhere, because, you know, we have an affinity for the East Side.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about all of it.
Absolutely.
You know, and so I'm at the meeting last night, you know, listening to the presentation about what's going to happen with the Rosonian, which to me, whichever way the Rosonian goes, that's the that's the centerpiece
That's
of
the
5
engine.
Points.
That's the engine for sure.
I knew Norman Harris was involved. I'm like, that's a long tradition. You know what I mean? The stuff that he's doing with Juneteenth, et cetera.
Norman's doing a great job, man.
Just the commitment.
Great job.
You know,
Yep.
I'm talking about this, I could say y'all's generation.
Yeah.
And then Haroon Cowan, his wife is relative to Benny Hooper.
Yep. That's right. That's right. Tasha sure is, man.
And then I see Mr. Big Shot walk into the meeting. I said, "Uh-oh, this is gonna get interesting."
Yeah.
Tell us what you're up to, and share your information about what's going to happen at the Rosonian.
Well, shoot, man. Some months back, I took a meeting with a developer down here, and Albus Brooks kind of set it up. And, you know, he told me that he bought the Rosonian. He had some good plans for it. So literally the first question when I walked in the meeting, when I sat down, is I told both Albus and Paul, I said, listen, I know why I'm here, you know, and if you guys are not willing to celebrate the history of the cultural heritage that we have here at the Rosonian and on these blocks and in this neighborhood, if we're not going to celebrate that with us, this meeting is over. And very quickly they said, no, that's why you're here. That's what we want. That's what we want to do. And so we continued on, and we finally, you know, got it done. And I'm very happy to announce that, you know, that I'm a partner in it, equity. I am definitely a partner in it, and the Rosonian, we will have it back. It's going to be like a 41 room boutique hotel, top floors. The middle floor, the ground floor will be a restaurant in my name. And then
Chauncey's.
Yeah, Chauncey's.
Come on, y'all, put your hands together for Chauncey. We got the crowd here today.
Yeah.
That's
I'm humbled by that. I'm humbled by that. And then we know what's very important in this neighborhood, and in there in particular, is the jazz. So we're gonna put a jazz club in the basement, and I'll be having national acts, big time people coming in. So we're excited. We're excited, Jeff. Like we're gonna do it right. I mean, we really are gonna do it right there.
Man, I tell you what. And then also we were able to meet the owner of Busboys and Poets last night.
Yes, Andy he's amazing dude, man.
You know, they were working on Busboys and Poets even when Carl Bourgeois was the owner. So that discussion has been long in the making, and now it looks like it's going to be a reality.
It is a reality. It's coming here too, right here to 5 Points. It's going to be a beautiful, it fits our culture. It fits our fabric here. It really does. It's in D.C. and it's doing very well. This is the only place outside of D.C. that he said, okay, I want to put a place here in Denver, in 5 Points. So his commitment has been great too, for the area, for the neighborhood.
Man, I can tell you that you know, there was this comment about, are you all just figureheads in this? And I said, y'all must not know Chauncey.
Yeah, nah.
You must not know Norman and Haroon. That's not, you don't sign up as no figurehead.
Well, one, that's not me, and two, you know, it's the reason why my name has not been linked with none of these projects that's going on, because it would have to be the right project, the right partner, the right part of the city, and they would have to let me cook. They gotta let me do what I do, you know. And I don't want to put a place here in Denver, in 5 Points. So we're gonna put a jazz club in the basement, and then we're gonna put a jazz club in the basement. So his commitment has been great too, for the area, for the neighborhood. Man, I can tell you that some you know, there was this comment about, are you all just figureheads in this? And I said, y'all must not know Chauncey. And we finally found that, but no, I would never be a figurehead for anybody because I don't need to, and I don't have to. And I worked hard to build my brand, and I'm not gonna compromise that on somebody else.
You know what was interesting? We talked in the past before about how you got into broadcasting.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes that they go through a broadcasting school to prepare them for broadcasting.
Yeah.
How'd you get into broadcasting?
I went right in. No practice, no nothing. I went right in, but I do a lot of studying though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like similar to my life, my basketball, everything. I study, like I work. But I had an opportunity and I went right in. Like I ain't had no practice, none of that, So that's just kind of how I live my life, man.
We were talking and you saw a vision in terms of Chauncey's. It's just not gonna feel right if you go into Chauncey's and you don't see us.
That's right.
Us cooking.
That's right.
Us managing.
We're gonna be at the door. We're gonna be managing. We in the hotel. We're in the jazz club.
Man.
We're gonna do it right, man. I promise you, I wouldn't be involved if we wasn't gonna do it right.
Folks are already signing up saying, "I want to work with Chauncey."
I wouldn't be involved if we wouldn't do it right.
It's huge. We have seen the Rosonnian sit vacant all of our lives.
Yeah.
I remember Daryl Anderson for maybe a year or two. He was in there. He had an art gallery, but it wasn't open. He was just kind of doing his art inside. But there've been a lot of plans for the Rosonnian, and we've never been in the Rosonnian.
We've never seen it. No, other than when this started up, walking in there with it the way it is now, I'd never been in there, and I'm embarrassed really to say that I never even knew about the rich tradition and the history growing up, what the Rosonnian used to be. It took me years, and then I started to figure it out and hear some of the echoes on it, and I started doing my due diligence on it. But I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't even know, about the Rosonnian growing up.
Well, I can tell you this, I'm super proud to be able to say that, yes, there's development that's happening down here, but we're participating in it also.
Yes.
There's nothing more important to me to say that, there's another generation that's going to experience 5 Points, the Rosonnian, etc., in a way that others had not been able to.
Yeah.
So, man, that's a huge announcement, bro.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. My wife and I, we're so excited about this, for sure.
As the big shot comes to Welton Street, Chauncey's,
yeah,
not
yeah.
Elway's. I'm no hating on Elway's.
Elway's my guy, but
But I want to go to Chauncey's.
This ain't his area.
I want to go to Chauncey's. Someone mentioned, would black people go to the hotel once it's open? I'm like, of course we will.
See, it's funny. Like,
yes.
It's funny that people say that, and here's another thing with us that we have to understand, right? When you say, yeah, we're gonna support it, we're gonna support y'all. It's not just, yeah, we like what y'all doing. Like, keep it up, good job. No, you gotta come down and patronize.
Right.
You gotta come down and spend some money. You gotta come down and be a part and be involved in it. And that's how we continue to keep this thing for generations and generations. And after all of us are gone and the kids, and you gotta really support it.
Talk about your transferable skills from athletics to business. How does the ethic transcend where you were and propel you into where you're going?
I think the biggest thing for me has always been just my attention to detail and me being willing to work harder than everybody else. It's transferred to every part of my life, in the business world. I've been in business before I even retired. I've been in the fast food business. Me and a partner, a black partner, Junior Bridgman, one of the biggest in our country, own 31 Wendy's restaurants together. We in Blaze Pizza now. And people say, well, why fast food? And I say, well, here's the reason why I went into fast food. Because it gives me an opportunity to hire people who society deems second-class citizens sometimes, right?
Right.
And bring them in and be able to elevate them throughout the company and give them ownership in that, That's the reason why. So, my work ethic has been, my best gift, in my opinion.
And not only that, and most people who are successful, who have been around successful people, will always tell you that successful folks are willing to work a lot harder than most other people.
Correct.
You know, that's just kind of a given. But your ability to give back through your foundation and Smooth's team with joint effort, I was tickled one year because I know how it is when you come home, all the homies that was around used to say, but you still can't take me.
Right.
You know, and they do those moves. I saw you shake somebody, and I think he broke his ankle. I don't know, but...
You know, you got to prove it. You know how we are.
Yeah,
you got to prove it to him.
So there was some flack around people saying that you had your basketball camp at the Hiawatha Davis Recreation Center, Skyland, and then you pulled it and moved it out into a further direction. And I often tell people, but that wasn't his decision. It was, you know, regulations and stipulations that made that happen.
Right.
So, you know, you want to touch on, you know, how you're touching these young people and some of the politics around it sometimes.
Well, I mean, you know, my baby is the Leadership Academy. Myself and Lonnie Porter on the Porter Billups Leadership Academy has been 22 years, man. 22 years, and we're not just giving a scholarship like $2,000. We sending kids and paying for 4 years of college, like all 4 years of college, is what people don't understand. Nobody in this country is doing that. That's in my position, and there's so many things that I do, in the community and all over the place that nobody ever knows about. You know, I literally have to tell the media people, no, don't come to this.
Yeah.
Because I ain't doing it for that. You know, I'm doing it because I want kids to feel special. You know, and if they look up to me, and I've been blessed enough to have the influence that I have, I'm not going to misuse that, right? I'm gonna do what's right with that. And my passion is the kids. You know, because you got to try to get them before the streets get them. And that's why in our program we bring them in incoming fourth graders. These kids are young. You know,
I like the point that you said, get them before the streets get them, because, you know, Coach Narcy and some of us, we were before some of the, what they call gang violence.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of new that came after us, but it was right in the midst of your generation. You know, people were really getting influenced by that. I would say that the athletics is what kind of kept you away.
Yeah.
You know, you had an alternative or whatever. Is there a way that we can pull some of these young people away from what already exists, or how do you see that?
You know, one thing that I think that's important, because everybody wants to be an athlete or a musician. That's a sexy thing to do. It really is. And I tell kids all the time, without trying to discourage them, like, you got a better chance to become an astronaut than become and do what I did. And it's a fact. Doesn't mean you can't, but I think, to be honest with you, guys like yourself, teachers and principals and black professionals, that needs to become more sexy to the generation, to that young generation. But it's not. And to me, I'm always pushing that line, like, you know, why not be? My brother is one of the probably third youngest coach in Division I basketball. Like, those dudes are heroes. Like, those are attainable, easily attainable positions and jobs. I won't say easily, but you know, it's different than what it is to be me. That needs to become sexy and have some appeal with the young group. And when it does, being a banker, running the bank, running the Rosonnian, when that thing becomes appealing, then we'll see a lot of change.
Man.
Brother Jeff, I appreciate it, man.
It's always good to
How'd I get so lucky to be on this? How'd I get so lucky?
No, listen. You know, we had a great time with Big John's 50th anniversary, his birthday party.
Oh, man, that was fun. I'm looking forward. John got a big thing coming in October. I can't wait. Biggest awards you could possibly get.
Yeah.
He's going to get it.
So I'll tell you what, you had a chance to touch base with Coach Narcy and meet, you know, some of the young folks that, you know, we're going to be seeing them.
Yes, we are.
when you get a chance, I want to take you out to see Lumumba. Let's go check out Heavy Hands, Heavy Hearts.
I'd love to.
You know, Lumumba used to, he was the MMA champion. Tough as nails. Started a gym over in Aurora, and he just brings all the young people together and, heavy hands, heavy hearts.
I would love to.
We got to go and take a look and just, and a lot of other things, because it's not what you haven't been doing. This is all the stuff you're always doing.
Yeah.
So it's just good to connect.
Let's do it.
Let's do it tomorrow. Carrie Kennedy, she's running for governor.
Carrie Kennedy.
Carrie Kennedy is going to be here tomorrow.
Sweet lady, sweet lady. I have a little history with her. Actually, her husband, Dr. Manglet, is my doctor.
Oh, man.
So I've been knowing Carrie and her family for a while. That'll be interesting. I'm going to tune in for that.
What about your political aspirations?
I don't have
Mr. Big Shot.
I don't have any. I don't have any at all.
Come on.
I don't.
You, Senator?
No. Jeff, I really don't have any political aspirations. I keep up just enough to know what's going on, to be honest with you. But I really don't, man. I really don't.
Man, well, I'll tell you what.
I respect the game, though, but I don't, though.
It's a big responsibility.
Yes, it is.
But congratulations in your work, in your saying, sometimes you put the city on your back. And everywhere you go, you tell them where you're from.
Absolutely.
5 Points is kind of on your back.
Yes, it is. As I told you, I feel like Park Hill and this is all one neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's all one neighborhood, so.
And you got lots of support, but it brings a lot of hope and confidence that other people are going to get involved in business too. Maybe not sports, but maybe they'll get involved in opening business.
I hope so, man. I hope so. That'd be awesome.
Man. All right. Awesome. So everybody, make sure you call Shaka Franklin Foundation, 303-337-2515, and get your Love Our Children tickets. Shaka Franklin Foundation, y'all.
Shaka Franklin.
He was in that seat just last week.
Yeah.
He was bringing hot grits.
I know he was.
Woo, man. So the annual luncheon is coming up. Make sure you call and make sure you get there. And then also don't forget, we're bringing 300 black parents to talk about education at our Voices, Our Schools conference, May 11th at Shorter AME Church. Somebody post the link because, that's free. It's all about education. And, it doesn't get any deeper than that. Make sure you go to brotherjeff.com, make your donation. Chauncey, there's your black card.
I've been having one for a long time, dog.
But it's better to have it in your pocket.
Nice.
Black community of
Colorado. Thank you, my brother.
we put them out.
Yeah.
We put them out. So, did you all enjoy Chauncey?
Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I see some young folks here.
Yes, indeed.
Some sharp-looking brothers and folks here, and I'm telling you, we're just gonna keep being supportive of what you're doing. Again, I cannot say it enough. Chauncey's.
Yes, indeed.
Can you imagine going by the Rosonian Chauncey's?
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. You don't have to imagine for long, baby. It's coming. It's coming.
Last point. Nuggets or Detroit Pistons?
You know I love my town, but Detroit Pistons.
Ah!
You know I love my town, but I won a championship there.
Yeah.
I won a championship
I know,
there.
but you brought the
that never goes away.
You brought that. You brought the big ball, the gold ball to Skyland.
That's what I'm saying. I brought and shared it with the hood.
Yes, you did.
But that's where I wanted at.
I got the pictures.
Yeah.
I got the pictures. So, okay. Pirates.
But I'm a Denver Bronco all day over anybody. All day.
They're going through a difficult time
that's
right
all right.
now.
We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right.
It's kind of like their shoulders out.
Yeah, that's all right. We're going to be all right.
But if they take baby steps,
draft
some
coming
goals,
up. There you go. We're going to work our way back. We're going to work our way back.
All right, you all. Mr. Big Shot Chauncey, smooth, brother, husband, and straight up Park Hill legend. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Y'all give him a round of applause. And, till next time.
Appreciate it, fellas.
2 o'clock. Mr. Big Shot.
I'll be watching tomorrow, man. See Kerry.
There you go. There it is, y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom. Boom.
That was fun, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Go on there.
Oh, shit. Josh, what up, boy?
What's up, big bro?
What's happening with you?
Man.
How you been?
Got CJ with
What's
you.
up, man?
What's up, dog? You all right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Straight?
sir.
Yeah.
How you been?
Good. So good.
Doing all right?
Same chill. What's up, boy?
Congrats,
What's
man.
happening? Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More to do, more to come.
Oh, you already know.
Good to see you, bro. What's been happening?
CJ.
Good to see you, CJ. Meet you. Sharper than new money.
What y'all up to, dog? Y'all just chilling?
Just chilling, man. Can't like say what's up.
Appreciate it, man.
Heritage was happening. I went to go check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it was cool. We had a little announcement last night over here in the library. Yeah, it was cool.
That's dope. Yeah, man.
That's important.
Oh, yeah.
That's that economic.
Yeah, we're gonna bring it back, man. I mean, as much as we can, you know. We'll have something though.
Well, you know, we got a lot of young men that want to do that apprentice, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah,
kind of showing that skill set, if it's construction, whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're gonna have some things like some internship type things, hospitality stuff.
Oh, nice.
You know.
What's up?
Yeah, we'll have a lot of that.
Oh, man. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Yeah, some things.
Bro, Jeff, I need my black card, man. I need my black card, too.
Yes, sir. Ass, you know.
I appreciate this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the vintage. It's the original one.
Man, this is a good conversation. Actually, this is a good conversation here too. As somebody, you play football, right? Yes. As somebody that played football in college, Josh, he's looking now, to find
Yeah.
what he just asked me was,
What do they look for out of you? You step on. Take my number down.
yeah,
We'll go to see you. I'll take you up there. Have some questions ready. I'll introduce you to Adam. He's in the crew. What grade are you in?
All right.
You a senior?
yeah.
So you about to graduate in May?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, yeah, man. So we got to get on it fast. And understand, where you going to? What's your plans?
I'm trying to go to Memphis University right now.
Memphis?
Yeah, that's my goal.
Did you get accepted?
Yeah,
You got accepted?
but I'm trying to get at Lane too. Do a first semester at Lane, then go over to Memphis and play football next year.
Okay.
That's my goal.
All right. Okay. I'll reach out to the coaches over there, and we'll go from there. Take my number. Yeah.
But the main thing, man, is just just the way you present yourself.
Like,
You talking to somebody, just basic stuff. Stuff like that, you will be amazed at how far that goes.
Right.
But just like athletic, just working hard. Just working hard, just willing to do what another motherfucker won't do.
and that's me.
You gotta be willing to do that.
No entitlement, and it's gonna give you anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's one of the biggest, man. That's one of the biggest things now is that guys just want you to give it to them. Right. Just as opposed to working, earning and shit.
Yeah, I like that.
That's the big deal, man.
I like that at 15,
Yeah.
my parents, man, like, around like that, so it's like I have to learn. My grandma raised me, and my godmama in there, so it's like I have to learn. Everybody now on your side, like they say, you are not even blood. So it's like you gotta work hard just to get what you want to get.
Yeah.
Because they not working hard, so you can get there. You working hard by your own. It's not up to them, it's up to you. So, when I do step out and where I'm in the field too, Coach Marcy will tell you, like, I feel like I got 2 chips on my shoulder, and I feel like somebody trying to take something away from me. I ain't gonna let that happen.
And that's awesome. But if I could tell you anything, that same shit you got on the field, I had that shit in life too. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether you was the business meeting, whatever it is, like had that same competitive nature.
Okay.
Because on the field, you used to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Out So I'll have that kind of that same chip everywhere, across the board. And you're gonna be straight no matter what happens. Had that football workout or not, you got that chip,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
gonna
no
win.
matter what, I
Gonna
still
win.
want to go to college and do what I got to do. You know, sports fields compared to pro athletes. Football don't work out. So you know, even though I might not do football, I still want to be somebody. You know?
Yeah.
And I know I am right now, and I'm be more bigger when I get to school and get through college and
Yeah.
make sure you know keep my grades right and always be on point.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm on it. I don't want to you know just football work. I'm not gonna just drop to my feet and just
Yeah.
be like everything's over. It's not over.
Yeah.
Don't work out. I'm still go to school and get my degree.
Mhm.
Be somebody in life so I can have a good career too.
I tell people, kids all the time, like kids, and it's a lot of ways to make the league. They got doctors on every team. They got lawyers for the teams. They got coaches. They got there's a lot of ways to make the league. Not just playing. Everybody can't. Everybody ain't got that. You know.
Got that dog in them.
Yeah.
I feel like you ain't got that dog in them already want you on my team. And you know that's what I tell my team. If you ain't ready, you're gonna come play. Yeah. And if you don't like it, then you ain't for me.
Yeah.
That's just how
That's
it
good.
is. You ain't ready, you do what you're doing. I know it's school, you know, it's hard. You know, I'm struggling a little bit right now, tests and stuff like that, but if you just drop to your feet and don't keep trying, then we can't be cool.
Oh yeah. So you gotta keep at it.
Yeah. Keep going, no matter what. I mean, you're gonna always fail. The greatest is fail. The greatest fail. Always. They always fail.
Absolutely.
But then they always come back from it.
Tough times don't last.
Yeah.
That's what people do.
Right.
It's the model that we live by.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Straight up.
So you got the right mentality.
Talk to my little bro.
Yes, sir.
His story will amaze you. For real. It wasn't always this.
Yeah.
Let him know he got a book and everything.
Yeah. For real.
From everything. You know what I mean?
Take these dudes' numbers, man. For sure. Keep in touch with
I
them.
can see it, you know, more black men, black excellence, because a lot of people do take that for granted, especially in the outside world. You know, just like
Right here.
they take the lady that comment on what LeBron said in the Uber, she just take us for granted. Like but I mean, like he is a role model and a black role model. Why would you, you know, say stuff like that on TV, just taking it for granted? But he's a good role model for kids and stuff like that. But you take that for granted because he's black. You know, just shut up and dribble. Okay, that doesn't make sense. He's a black role model. Why down talk somebody like that?
Hold
Down talk.
Hold on real quick. The camera's on. No, hold on. Yeah. Bro, it's a war going on, bro. Like, for real. You know what I mean? That's why I look up to Big Bro, especially Brother Jeff, what we trying to do in here, you feel me? Like football, that's what we use to get to where we want to get back and everything like that. The bigger picture, you know what I mean? It's just, it's some, they don't, yeah.
And I realized that I just be like, you know, you take, and it's not even just him, it's a lot of African Americans, black, you know, role models that they take for granted. Even the ones, Harriet Tubman, like that, they still take it for granted. They still, Martin Luther King, take it, his word don't mean nothing. You know, they still take it for granted. They still up here trying to move all these people out of the area just to bring more white folks in. And I just seen like my belly, you see Mexicans, I seen so many white people that I was like, where did y'all come from? I didn't know where they came from, but I didn't know where they came from.
Inbox me on
That ain't
Facebook
gonna
with
stop.
your cell.
You know, it's like they trying to move us up.
That ain't gonna stop.
I see it.
And we gotta embrace that though. We gotta embrace the change, you know what I mean? Just try to get in where we